deal that never was is what can describe the transaction that initially was meant to provide an alternative burial ground for Nairobi residents, but instead turned sour and saw city dwellers relieved of the hard-earned money they remit to the Nairobi City Council in exchange for services. The matter is still in court, and those involved in the scandal will be subjected to the process of law. It, however, does not do away with the lack of space in public cemeteries, which remains a thorn in the flesh for Nairobi residents.
What I know is that I have not handled the file since I came myself personally. But I know there has been a council resolution to look for land afresh for the cemetery. I know that Treasury has been approached for further funding. I know it's a little bit tricky because the previous funds that Treasury allocated got into trouble. There was a problem. So the need to look for another land for cemetery use is absolutely essential. That will have to take place.
The death toll in Kenya stands at 8.93 of 1,000 people, according to statistics dated July 2011, which means at least 26,790 people die every year in Nairobi alone. Most of those people end up seeking a final resting place here at the Lang'ata Cemetery. Following the scandal that prevented the purchase of land in Athi River, the Lang'ata Cemetery, that is the largest cemetery in Kenya, will remain the only option for a final resting place for Nairobi residents. Upon arrival at the Lang'ata Cemetery, it becomes clear that the presence of cameras there is less than welcomed.
Unakuja na barua ile mmelipa naye, na hii imeandikwa kutoka na hii au anaenda tu huyu akachukua karatasi akaandika akaweka mmoja.
With security personnel engaging and seeking that we leave or at least stop filming the area. With all the parking areas taken up as burial space, mourners' vehicles are squeezed in between tombstones, with some even being parked on top of old graves. And like clockwork, the flow of mourners seeking a place to lay to rest their loved ones continues. With the upper side of the cemetery seemingly full, this area could be the remaining portion of land available to city dwellers. The land in Athi River had many faults, being termed as too rocky and unsuitable for the purpose it was bought for. However, the one issue that escalated the discontent of Nairobians is the fact that the council claimed that it paid 259 million shillings, which is 10 times the actual value of the land, estimated to stand at 24 million shillings. With a change in command at City Hall, Nairobi residents hope for a correction of past errors, and with that, provision for alternative burial grounds.
It may as well be that the court rules there was no offense committed by those people. So you can't, prior to determination, say you'll recover money from anybody. It's only the court ruling that will give us the premises upon which we will anchor our argument.
The city mortuary management has been on the receiving end of criticism, with members of the public complaining of the occasional foul smell emanating from this establishment. Could this problem be linked to the lack of space in public cemeteries? The stench at the mortuary is not the only issue of concern, as the attendants are endangered by the prolonged presence of dead bodies in the mortuary. Most of their deaths can be traced back to their jobs.
Tuberculosis can easily be transmitted through from the dead body, and is one of the most common infections that is transmitted in the mortuary. In fact, a lot of pathologists and morticians, the so-called technologists in the mortuary, a lot of them end up dying because of tuberculosis, because it can persist for years.
For the time being, city dwellers will make do with what's available unless they open their minds to alternative send-offs for their dead. Join me tomorrow as we look at some of the options at the disposal of Kenyans in light of the insufficient burial grounds. Waweru for News at 8.